All right, early January now, and still some questions around the Iowa Hawkeyes lineup. Who's going to be the starters for Iowa moving forward? And I think the Soldier Salute gave us a little more clarity there on who's going to be wrestling for the Hawkeyes moving forward. And give a quick rundown of who I think are going to be their stars and some of the decisions that Coach Brands and company are going to have to be making. So some of them are pretty cut and dry. For example, 125, Drake Ayala. He's their starter. No doubt about it. He's going to be the man. But you go to 133. And after Colin Shriver beat Rini of Columbia, it became a little bit of a question. All right, that's a nice win. Is there an open competition there? And maybe it was. If it was, I feel like Brody Teske shut the door at the Soldier Salute. He won that tournament. It had Kale Peterson. It had Shriver in it. It had a couple other tough guys. And Teske, who had been the starter for the most part for Iowa, he won the tournament. So I feel pretty certain that it'll be Brody moving forward for the rest of the year for the Hawkeyes at 133. Now 41, Real Woods, next topic. 49 is interesting because coming into this year, it looked like it was going to be Victor Voinovich, and it was Victor Voinovich for the majority of duels. But now, with the Soldier Salute results, I feel like we're going to be seeing Caleb Ratchi getting some opportunities to start. Voinovich has not been on fire to start the year. Right, he hasn't notched a lot of high-level wins at this point. Ratchi goes to the Soldier Salute. He wins the tournament that had Voinovich, that had Ferrari, had a couple other tough guys in it. Ratchi wins. While coming into that tournament, I didn't think he would be someone we're going to be talking about as the starter. We're talking about, hey, if Ferrari wins this, maybe he's the starter if he gets into school, et cetera, et cetera. Now, I don't know what's happening with Anthony, but it feels like, regardless, Caleb Ratchi is going to be getting the nod for a little bit. Now, how long that lasts, I'm not sure, but I feel like you have to honor the result of the salute for a little bit and give Caleb Ratchi a shot. So don't be surprised if that's who Coach Brands goes with at 149, at least for the next couple duels. 157's been frantic, will be frantic. Nothing really to discuss there. He's been wrestling really well. 165, I feel like we have closure there. Coming into the Soldier Salute, you had Michael Caliendo, an All-American, but you had a really tough guy in Patrick Kennedy. He made the descent down to 165 after wrestling some duels at 174, and they made the finals. It was a really competitive match. The score really didn't represent how close that match was. It was, I think, a 7-2 final for Caliendo, but Kennedy was just in, just had a really hard time putting Caliendo down and getting those finishes that could have swung the match his way. And so with Caliendo, he's wrestled well this year. He's a returning All-American. He just won that tournament. I feel like 65 is now a done deal for Michael Caliendo, if there was any doubt coming into Soldier Salute. But now 74 is where it really gets interesting, because to me it's just a matter of how you answer this question. Does Coach Brands want his best lineup on the mat this year? Because if he does, then it's really simple. Then you wrestle Gabe Arnold this year. But I don't know if that's going to be the decision that they wind up making. I don't know. Coach Brands does not have to make that decision yet. Because of the new 5 match rule for true freshmen, they can use Gabe Arnold one more time before they have to decide, are we or are we not pulling this guy's red shirt? So if you're looking for an answer in the next week, is Gabe Arnold going? I don't think you're going to get anything that definitive. Now, if he wrestles against Nebraska Friday and then Minnesota Monday, then we have our answer. It's Gabe from here on out. But they do have Patrick Kennedy. Kennedy is still there. He's, I think, without a doubt, a guy that could qualify the weight at 174 and win you some matches. He's really tough. But he's undersized. And any elite wrestler, it's Division I. It's so competitive. If you have any disadvantage like size, it's really, really hard to win. You have to be very, very elite to navigate that. And I don't know if Kennedy can come in there and place at 174. And if they're looking for a guy that can place, Gabe Arnold's passed all the tests right now. He's wrestled really well. He's wrestled well at 84 in the one match. They used him there when they needed him against Iowa State, and he beat an All-American and Will Feldkamp. So Gabe's had a nice year. But what's going to get interesting is how they tactically approach some of these dual meets, because in a lot of cases, bumping Gabe to 84 and using Kennedy at 74 may be a sound tactic. But when you do that, you can kind of fiddle with you can mess up some seeding opportunities and seeding points because you're seeded by your results at the weight. So if Gabe's not wrestling at 174, there could be a little bit of a trade-off there. So I'm not sure what we'll see, and we don't, as I mentioned, we don't have to, or Coach Brands doesn't have to make that final decision yet. But I think it's going to be coming soon. And so 84, I think this is just going to be a tough wait for Iowa. They've used a couple guys already this year. More recently, it's been Aiden Riggins. I'm not sure if he'll be the guy moving forward, but it's going to be hard to qualify this weight at 184 for Iowa this year. It's going to be uphill for sure. 197, Zach Glazier. I mean, he's the Soldier Salute champion and wrestled AJ Ferrari really tough. And that matters. That's something. And if AJ's not on the team, there's no doubt that he's your starter at 197. And he's been a pleasant surprise. I mean, I didn't know what to expect because Zach's never been a full-on starter for the Hawks. This is kind of his first opportunity. He's still undefeated at this point. Bigger tests on the way with the Big Ten season, Big Ten championships, and NCAAs. But Glazier's done a really nice job at 197. So I have no reason to think he won't be the guy moving forward, barring a change with, who's on Iowa's roster, right? And then heavyweight is the other, I think, big decision that Coach Brands is going to have to make, because you got Ben Keer, Mr. Everything, Mr. Iowa, the football star, the 4-time state champion from Iowa City. This guy's just the man, right? Well, he's a true freshman. The football season just ended. He was on the Iowa football team. They're done. So he's just now joining the wrestling team. But there's little doubt that he's their best option at 285. And what is fortunate for Coach Brands and company is they don't have to send him to a bunch of opens or try to find out where he's at. They get to use 5 basically free runs with Ben Keer, right? They can try him in some tough duels and see where he's at before they make the decision, yeah, he's our guy moving forward. And I fully expect Iowa to do that and not declare, hey, he's our guy moving forward until he's exhausted all 5 and he's cemented that he is the best guy. But I think to win some of these dual meets, they're going to need someone like Ben Keer. They're going to need, Bradley Hill's filled in admirably. This was supposed to be Cassioppi's weight, right? Let's not kid ourselves here. But with Cassioppi out, Bradley Hill's filled in. But I think Ben Keer gives a little bit of upside. But is he ready? That's a big question. And how much of a disadvantage for Ben is it that he's been, not wrestling? I mean, if you're an Iowa wrestler, Oklahoma State, Penn State wrestler, you're pretty much wrestling year-round, right? Well, Ben he's been focused on football, and Coach Brand said that's what he wanted him to do. He's like, the best thing for his wrestling is him to focus on football right now. So that's what he's been doing the last months and months. So how quickly can he acclimate to college wrestling? It's kind of the understatement of the year. High school, the jump from Iowa high school wrestling to NCAA Division I, Big Ten heavyweight, it's a huge jump. And Ben is not the biggest guy. He's not going to be a big heavyweight. So there's some questions there. I'm really excited to watch Ben. I'm really excited to watch his career. I'm really pumped that he's going to try to do both, because it's pretty rare that you see that. It's pretty rare to see guys try to be high-level Division I football and high-level Division I wrestling. But Ben's going to give it a shot, and I'm excited to watch. So that's my read on the Iowa lineup right now. I'm curious what you guys think. Do you think we could see someone other than Gabe Arnold at 174? Do you think they should use Ben Keer? Are there other weights where I missed? What do you think? Who should be the Iowa starters for the rest of the year?